I love your wacky, wavy, inflatable tube arm guy that you're doing there.
Wacky waving inflatable waving arm tube man.
That's just perfect. That's perfect. All right. Well, wait, let me just get this over here. Yeah, I'm recording all this, and I'll probably put this all at the end of this week's pod also. All right. So let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to an interview with my best friend. Yes, we rebranded after one episode. No, you can't judge us. I'm Josh, your host this week, and on this week's episode, we have Hayden joining us. Hayden, say hello.
Hi, my name is Hayden, and only God can judge me. Thank you.
Yes, perfect. This
Happy
week,
to be here.
This week, I will be asking Hayden a line of very hard-hitting questions that will be getting to who he is in his very soul. So, Hayden, are you ready?
I don't have a soul, but keep going.
All right. First question. What is your favorite animal and why? Now, I'll let you digest that for a minute.
I don't need to.
No,
I don't.
Well, see, this is how the podcast is set up. I answer my own question that I posit to you, and then you give me your answer. But if you want to break the podcast already.
What if I have my answer?
Well, go for it.
I just did that last time as like a courtesy to give you time to think, but I'm honestly I'm ready to go.
All right. What's your answer?
My favorite animal. So I always break this into two categories because it's not a fair question. And I love animals so much. So I break it up into domesticated and non-domesticated. If we're talking domesticated, it's a dog, hands down. I don't care what you say. If I see a dog anywhere.
Any specific kind of dog or just all dogs?
I have an equal love for all dogs. All dogs are precious. Okay. My favorite dog, though, is a golden retriever. Just because when I was a kid growing up, I had a golden retriever. And just my favorite dog.
All right.
So that's my favorite domesticated animal.
It's a good answer. It's a solid answer.
Josh and I have previously bonded in the past of letting each other know whenever we see a dog or going out in public and dog watching or just admiring dogs in general. But my favorite non-domesticated animal would have to be the dolphin because I think that a dolphin is my spirit animal. And
fun. Would you say that the reason that you love them so much is because they are one of the few mammals on the planet's surface that kills for fun too?
I don't really identify with that trait personally, but I do think it's pretty cool. I think that if I were a dolphin, I would identify more with the, playful nature of dolphins, where they kind of just play wherever they want, whenever they want. It seems like,
that except for eating.
Yeah. Except for eating, it seems like they don't really care too much. They don't have an agenda, dolphins aren't out trying to, start a political uprising or,
they're
they
just
don't
out
have
here
any
bullying sharks.
Yeah. They're saving us from sharks. They're doing kick flips in SeaWorld and they should be released, by the way.
For sure. Close down SeaWorld, please.
Yeah, please. As somebody that went to SeaWorld in his youth every single year for 15 straight years, please close SeaWorld. I love SeaWorld, but man, you got to figure your shit out. So anyway.
Either close it down or find out a way to treat those animals better, please.
I was so convinced as a child that I wanted to be one of those dolphin trainers as a kid. Because when I was in second grade, I was living in San Diego at the time, and we took a field trip to SeaWorld, which I was thrilled because I get to go to SeaWorld every year anyway, because I live so dang close. But the fact that I got to go
during school,
it took up a school day.
Yep.
Mind blowing. I was on cloud nine, and it was on this fateful day that I learned that I can communicate with dolphins.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So I went to the dolphins because I freaking love dolphins. I mean, we made our way around, obviously, but I was so excited when we came to the dolphins, and then they at that time in history, way back in my day, you were actually able to feed the dolphins. They don't let you do it anymore, but they had like a little like kind of display where you could like get a little what do you call those things? Okay, so picture this: you're at the fair. You go to the fair. You want to get some chili cheese fries. Oh, it's a boat. Yeah, you know the little boat that they put food in. So you get a little boat, and it's of shrimp or whatever they want people to feed the dolphins that day.
Whatever's on the menu for that day.
Right. And the stars have to align perfectly, and you have to show up at the right time because they don't eat just like whenever the hell they want. So yeah, we got to feed the dolphins. And then I really wanted to like talk to the dolphin. I really wanted to. And so I did. And I don't know how it happened, but I just made this noise with my mouth. I'm not going to make it because I don't know what
that would not be pleasurable for people's ears. So
yeah, it's not like a squeal. It's more like a clicking kind of sound.
Yeah.
Because I heard the dolphins like clicking and like squealing and like, you know, they're doing their little dolphin talk. And I wanted to do it so bad. And so I don't know how I did it, but I did. And the dolphin looked at me. And then I did it again. And then the dolphin, I swear to God, this is true. I'm not making this up. The dolphin swam away. He like did a circle it did a circle in the little pool, and it did a freaking flip and then came back to me.
That's insane.
Yeah. I was like,
I mean, dolphins are one of the smartest creatures on the planet. So, I mean, that does like make sense scientifically that like it would like interpret your clicks or whatever, your chirps or whatever as like communication. It's like, yes. I don't know why I'm surprised that would work, but that's really cool that like worked with a dolphin. That's really cool.
I swear it's true. Like, again, I don't know how I freaking did this. I don't know why the dolphin interpreted my mouth noises as I'm going to go do a cool flip, but it just happened, man. It just happened. So ever since then, dolphins have been my favorite freaking animal.
Yeah. Yeah. So golden retriever and dolphin. Well, for myself, I also kind of broke it into domestic versus wild. I'm glad that like you did that on your own, because that's definitely what I did also.
That's awesome.
Obviously, my favorite animal is also a golden retriever for like a domesticated animal. I love them. They are the kindest dogs on the planet. And I just want 12 of them, please.
They're really the perfect dog.
And yeah, I know that is a very basic answer to be like, oh yeah, golden retriever is my favorite, but I am a basic person. So please do not judge me too harshly. Much like Hayden, only God can judge me.
Yeah, that's right.
And if I went with a wild animal, though, I think I gave this some thought, and I came to the conclusion that my favorite wild animal is probably the duck. I don't have very good reasoning for this, other than I like to be at like the park or whatever, downtown in Spokane, at the park where they're all congregated at, and they're all just quacking their little faces off, and I just love hearing them. It's one of my favorite sounds. Becca can make the sound almost perfectly, and it never fails to like make me smile or make me laugh, because I just love ducks so much.
That is the purest thing that I've ever heard you say, I think.
There are no other reasons. I just love to listen to them quack. I just think that they're such adorable little like freaking birds. Like I love them so much. I don't have a good reason. And follow-up question to this question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were able to in say like say like reincarnation. If you were reincarnated, would you like to be one of your favorite animals, or would you kind of be like, maybe not? Because sometimes like somebody like really likes an animal, like we'll just say like a hippo or something. But then they'd be like, I wouldn't want to be a hippo because like they can't, like they're all big and always dirty, and like they live in the Amazon and have to worry about lions and shit. So like,
Yes. So that's a good question. I think it depends. Like when I ascend to the cosmos and my soul is like, well, first of all, I find out that I have a soul. That's pretty cool. And two,
yeah, because you
my
did
soul
just
is
tell me
like,
that you don't have a soul. So that would be pretty shocking.
I was like 6% joking because, honestly, the real truth of it is that I don't really know. And we can get into that later in a different episode. But anyway, for all intents and purposes, if my soul was accepted by the cosmos and then they were like, yo, do you want to go back as a human or as a animal? I think I would have to honestly like ask the cosmos, hey, so are dolphins like mutually intelligible to humans to a degree where I would be comfortable being a dolphin? Because I think that's like a huge factor. I probably wouldn't be a dog because I love dogs and everything, but dogs are so dumb. And bless their hearts.
But they lead such simple lives.
I know. I that's just not my calling. I can't do it. A simple life is really just not for me. I don't know. I'm just so turned off by that.
You want to go bully sharks all the time.
I would rather go bully sharks all the time, honestly. Yeah. 100%. And see, that's the other thing is it'd be such a trade-off because ideally my life would be so complex enough to where I could take care of these simple creatures, i.e. dogs, and give
Ocean
them
dogs.
the best possible life, So I want to, use my intelligent life and meaningful life to spread joy and,
so
I just want to take care of things.
So I guess that would be yes, but with like an asterisk affixed to it. I have my answer to this is much simpler, and it's just yes, hell yes. I would very much love to lead the nice, simple life of a golden retriever. Statistically speaking, I'm fairly certain a golden retriever's life is pretty much the lap of luxury most of the time, because they're either like a service dog and they're trained real well, and they're sent to like a family that like will appreciate them and like love them completely, or they're just sold for so much money that only rich people can afford them. And therefore they might be neglected by the rich people, which would suck, but they'd always have like the biggest, comfiest bed to sleep in. Probably.
But also rich people have maids and stuff like that, so they can take care of the dog. And I'm sure that like
I might love the maids more than the rich people.
Exactly. I'm sure that your relationship with the maid would be a lot better than with, I mean, who knows? Who's to say?
Now, if I had to choose between being a golden retriever or a duck, I'd probably choose the duck because all I'd have to do as a duck is just quack at people and then simp for the people who have bread.
Okay.
Because that's all I'd have to do as a duck. Plus, then I'd finally know how to swim. So and that would be a big plus. What? And fly. Yeah, exactly. I could do so many more things than a stupid dog could.
Oh, man. What if we get reincarnated and then turns out dolphins aren't as stupid, but they're still like marginally stupid, so I don't become one. And then I just become a human. And then you get reincarnated as a dog. And then we're best friends again in the afterlife.
I see that happening. And then because my lifespan is shorter, I get reincarnated again as a duck and I shit on your windshield.
I would honestly not even be mad because I would have scientists analyze the
fecal matter
and the fecal matter. And I would say, scientists, tell me what fecal matter is on my doorstep, on my window. And they would say, well, this is duck poop. And then I would honestly throw a fucking party because I would be like, hey, everybody, come over to my house. My friend just shit on me from the afterlife. I would celebrate so hard. And then I would construct a duck sanctuary in my backyard to entice you to come and live in my backyard.
Fantastic. Oh my God.
And I would import like, I don't know how many kinds of duck species there are. I'm just going to throw out a number. I would invite, okay. I have an idea. Okay. So I entice you to come live in my backyard. And then I import 30 different species of duck into my backyard, but they're all females. And it's like the Duck Bachelor. And you get
God, that is horrible, but also
you just get
hilarious.
To choose any duck that you want, any kind. You got the whole swath. They're all
my God. Also, I think one reason that I really like ducks too is because fictional ducks and duck characters and stuff like that. Like if you look at Looney Tunes, probably my favorite character from Looney Tunes is Daffy Duck. Just because I love his fucking sass. He's the sassiest little duck that has ever existed outside of Kingdom Hearts Donald. Kingdom Hearts Donald is probably actually the sassiest duck to ever exist, only because he refuses to heal you.
Yeah, he's also the most useless, but
he is the most useless, but that's for another day.
Oh my God. Can we have just like a podcast where we just talk about Kingdom Hearts the whole time?
And we're just trying to figure out what the hell is going on the whole time. Have you played Kingdom Hearts 3 yet even?
I have played some of it. Admittedly, I haven't finished it.
I got to the Monsters Inc. world, and I was just like, this is not good. And I've heard that it gets really good at the end, but I just
wasn't as into it as I was with the other games. But so if you're listening to this, please follow us at Hayden Desmondo, at Joshua58, at Josh and Hayden, and let us know on Twitter if you want a Kingdom Hearts episode. Otherwise, we might just make it as like a bonus because we know that not everyone wants to hear about that.
For sure.
Yeah. If you want it to be like a canon episode, please let us know on Twitter. Anyway, you were saying about the ducks.
For sure. That was pretty much concluding my line of thought for the ducks. It's just because I wanted to throw that little tidbit of my favorite fictional ducks out there. The Mighty Ducks, also a good fictional duck, even though it's not an actual duck. It's a duck sports team, but.
Oh, you know what they say. Go Ducks.
God damn it. Getting completely away from hypotheticals of if you're reincarnated or what's your favorite animal sort of questions. I'm going to move to a different sort of favorite question. And that's just, you and I have played a bit of D&D together. Admittedly, not as much as I'd like, because I think I've only DM'd one campaign for you. And I don't even think you were able to be around for the conclusion of that campaign.
No.
Which is unfortunate. And will need to be changed at some point.
Yes.
But with that being said, like I said, we've played a lot of D&D together. We've played with a few of our friends. You've played a whole bunch since joining the Navy. I know that. And so we have a lot of memories associated with D&D. What would you say is probably your favorite memory that you have playing D&D? It could be something that you've done, something that somebody at your table has done, anything like that. If you need a minute to think, I have my memory just dialed up right here.
Yeah, just pull the trigger on yours because holy crap, that's
this is probably one of the first times that I actually ever played D&D. So this was with you, Hayden. It was also with our friends Lauren, who is DMing, our friend Joseph, and our friend Quinn. And I think you know exactly where this is going now.
I know exactly what you're about to say. Keep going.
And our friend Joseph,
Yeah.
I love him to death. He is probably one of my favorite human beings on this planet.
Hands down.
He was playing a druid while we were playing D&D. Mind you, this is like the first or second time any of us have ever played this. And we were doing this one shot, which for those of you who don't know, a one shot is just sort of like completely contained, like one episode, like sort of thing of D&D. Like you just sit down, you play D&D for about 4 or 5 hours, and that's the whole thing. Like it's just it's a fully contained episode of D&D, more or less. And pretty much Lauren, who is DMing, he was trying to get us to go. He was trying to get the party to go to this insane asylum to investigate some goings on that were happening there. But Joseph, he decided he wanted to go into town and like talk to some of the guards. And he was doing that. The rest of us decided to go to the place that Lauren wanted us to go to. And so Joseph had to catch up. And because they wouldn't just let him in, or because he thought they wouldn't just let him into the insane asylum, he thought he had to act as crazy as possible. So his character stripped down to the nude, and his character hid all of his belongings so well inside of a tree that they fused with the tree. He literally like crit on his like sleight of hand roll to get his items like hidden in the tree in such a way that nobody else would be able to find them except for him. And even then it was kind of iffy on that. And so Lauren was just kind of looking at him this whole time, like, what the hell are you doing? Why are you doing this? And Joseph like looked at him and was like, okay, and now I just run around like with my arms going above my head and I'm like screaming and acting all crazy. And Lauren's like, they would have just let you in. And he was like, oh, well, I didn't know that. Can I get my stuff back? And Lauren was like, roll investigation. And I think he got like a 2 on his investigation roll. So he couldn't recover any of his stuff. He got thrown into the insane asylum that we were all being kept at. And then, oh, Hayden, you left me. Oh, man. Oh, no. Hayden. He back. All right. Oh, I can't hear you. You're on mute, dude.
Hello. I'm so sorry. So for those who do not know, I would like to apologize for the past episode where I had some microphone issues. It's really not my microphone. It's just the Wi-Fi. I am currently away from home, awaiting a deployment, and I am at the mercy of this hotel Wi-Fi. So please bear with us, as we deal with this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember that, and what a legend that was.
And
that was
then
just insane.
So Hayden, I actually have to pause this here because Becca just texted me and said that she's off early, so I need to go get her real quick.
Oh, okay.
So cool. This will be easy enough to just. I'm just gonna pause the recording, anyways.
My music's too loud. Just text me.
Okay, we will. So hello, everyone. Sorry about that little break in the middle there. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I think it was something to do with D&D, but
yes,
I had to go get my fiance from work because she got off early. And we also then went and grabbed some coffee because coffee is important, and I haven't had caffeine today, and that's very important for me.
That is important. So before I get into my favorite D&D moment, you have a story to tell?
I do have a story to tell. It was just from a few minutes ago driving back from getting coffee.
Did you get pulled over?
No.
Oh, okay. Keep going.
So Becca and I, Becca is my fiance, we live right next to some train tracks. And as we were approaching the light that would, like, it's the last light kind of in between, like where we would turn onto the road to like get to our apartment. The train tracks like came, like the railroad crossing like turned on and like the bar went down. And there is an alternate way that I can go. Like I can get around it. And I looked at it and the train was like just getting to like the intersection. And I was like, I can beat it. I can beat the train to the other crossing.
No, you did not.
So I drive a Mini Cooper and Mini Coopers do not have a lot of horsepower, but my Mini Cooper has this really fun function of a sport mode, which pretty much just makes it go into performance mode. So I turn that shit on. I pretty much gun it. I'm going like 50 miles an hour down this fucking road. And we get stopped at the like light that I have to turn from to like cross the railroad crossing like down a little bit further to get to my apartments. And like we're like watching like for the train and everything. The light turns green. I get into the intersection. We see the railroad sign like start flashing. No. We zoom straight under the bar that's coming down. And the whole time I was like, I can't get stuck behind this. I can't get stuck by this train. I have a podcast to go record, which I realized as I was saying it was probably the whitest thing I could have said in the moment. But yeah, that just happened. And that was really fucking dumb of me to do because I could have gotten pulled over, but I didn't. So the lesson here, kids, if you can get away with something, it's worth it.
Oh, I thought the lesson was going to be no copy, no stoppy.
That too.
Holy shit, 007. That's an incredible story.
It was so fucking dumb. Like I was doing it. I was like, it's fine. Like I don't have to rush back. Like it'll be fine. But there I was. Oh, you just dropped out again. Well, it's just me here now. Hello, everyone. Hayden has decided to leave us because his Wi-Fi is absolutely terrible. So I guess I will have to fill in for his favorite D&D story. Oh, I have to admit him into here again. Hello, Hayden. I was just about to tell everyone your favorite D&D memory, but I guess you can do this now.
I'm so sorry. This Wi-Fi is so bad.
Nah, it's all good.
I hope that the audio isn't fucked because of it, but I guess we'll just have to see.
You sound
we
fine.
We can even try this again if it gets too bad. But wow. Okay, so anyway, my favorite D&D moment was so the one with Joseph is pretty up there, but I would have to say the D&D moment that gave me like the most emotional response was when my very first campaign ended. So when I was living in Monterey, I had a D&D group. I actually had two D&D groups, and I was running Tomb of Annihilation. At the time, it was a brand new campaign, so not a lot of people were playing it. And I, just kind of heard that if you want to get into D&D, the best way to do it is to just do it, nothing pretty to much. It, but to do it pretty much. So, and I had already, fallen in love with D&D because I was in Josh's campaign, and, I was trying to, find a DM, but nobody was really stepping up, even though there was a lot of interest for people to play. And then somebody was just like, well, Hayden, maybe you should DM. And I was like, wow, that's a great idea. I should DM. So I did. And so I just got Tomb of Annihilation and I just started reading it and I started prepping. And then, I just kind of went and did it.
That's the only way to learn how to DM is just to do it. Like, I just learned by doing it because I knew like my friends wanted to play. So I was just like, all right, I'll figure this out. And it's the only way to really learn how. You can't, like, there's no book to get to help you learn how to DM. Like, you can watch hours upon hours of Critical Role, but you will never be Matt Mercer.
Right.
Like, it's everyone has their own style and you just got to kind of figure it out along the way.
Exactly. And my advice to you, if you're an aspiring DM, is to just do it. Just start. Like, even if you only have 2 players, it doesn't matter. Just start, go, because you're only going to get better. So the one group that I had was so popular that I was essentially forced to start another group a few weeks later because word got out about how awesome it was. And so people came up to me and they were like, yo, like, you trying to start another game? And, no, but I
like,
just
one game is already hard enough to manage. I don't want to do 2.
Well, so then I had this, kind of genius idea, not to toot my own horn too much, but I was wondering like what it would be like if I ran 2 games at the same time, but in the same world. And there's a lot of material in Tomb of Annihilation, and my play style and my DM style is kind of like a meat grinder style. Mm-hmm. So I just give aggregate XP at the end of every session. So I don't split it up between the players. Like, whatever XP is granted during that session, each player gets that much. So for like the first 5 sessions, we had a level up every single session because it just gets harder. And, you don't really break that monotony until, I would argue, probably like level 7. And then once they reach level 7, they had, I'm on a tangent right now. I should really just get to the point.
No, you're good. You're good. Like, it's an all audio medium. Like, tangents are going to be expected. Like,
yeah. So
plus, I know you and I could talk about D&D for literal hours.
Yes, we could. So, okay, I'm going to put that aside for now. But the main point is I was coming up on a conundrum because I had my 2 campaigns living in the same world. And I had to figure that out because I can't bring 12 players to a finale. That's just not possible.
They're going to shit stomp your final boss is what's going to happen.
Well, and plus they just weren't part of, they were just different groups, they were different adventures. Actually, one of the players was in both campaigns. So that was also problematic because they were playing 2 different characters and, in the same story. But, anyway, luckily, some of the characters died off and I decided, if you die off in the campaign, you can't come back because there's just people are going to have to die,
Yeah, it's Tomb of Annihilation. It's hard fucking core. Like, from what I've heard, I haven't played Tomb of Annihilation, but from what I've heard, Tomb of Annihilation is like, it's going to kill characters. Like,
oh yeah, it will. Yeah, for sure. I kind of read it, when I was going into it, and I told the players straight up, I was like, your character will die. Do not get attached to your character. If you do, it's your own fault. Sorry, it's your fault. Whatever. Here we go. So we ran it. And then, so what happened in the end was I had to at least limit this down to 7. Ideally, I would want 6, ideally. Just because a Surak is such a fucking boss.
Oh yeah.
But so what I did is the 2 groups collided and fought to the death, and the survivors got to enter the Tomb of Annihilation.
Lovely.
And it worked. So then there were only 6 people left to be able to, go into the final dungeon. And it was great. But, by this time I want to say this campaign had taken months, like probably like 8 or 9 months, and we played every single weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And we would play anywhere between 4. Some days we would play 8 hours. I'm not even joking.
Oh.
Like we would just sit down and we would play, and then we would have a lunch break, usually pizza. And, some days we would be playing D&D for like 8 hours, and we would do that every single weekend. And I would do that with both of my groups.
God
So,
damn, that sounds fantastic.
in any given weekend, I was playing anywhere between 8 and 16 hours of D&D. So like, I was so blessed.
Dear listeners,
anyway.
if you want me to have any sort of happiness in this life, make this podcast so successful that I can play anywhere between 8 to 16 hours of D&D every weekend, please.
Yes. If you are enjoying hearing us talk, please leave a review on all of our podcasting mediums. And, you don't have to rate it 5 stars, but if you do,
it certainly helps.
That'd be pretty cool. Also, I'd like to remind everyone that if you do leave a review on our podcast, you'll be automatically entered to win a $10 Starbucks gift card.
Hell yeah.
What up? Who doesn't like Starbucks? I might just leave a review on my own podcast so that I can win.
There you go. That's the
anyway,
4D chess.
Back to the D&D story.
Yeah. It's a galaxy brain shit right there.
It came down to the finale, this cumulative moment. We had spent 8 or 9 months on this campaign. We had come together every single weekend. This campaign got so popular that, I'm not even joking, there were people outside of the campaign who had never played D&D that would come to the rec center that we hosted it in and just watch. There were like 3 or 4 people that would come to just watch us play. Like they weren't even involved, and they were, driving on the sidelines. And the players that had died would also periodically come in just to see like how the campaign was going. And so it all came down to this cumulative big moment, and the finale happened, and I'm not going to spoil the ending, but the end of the campaign happened, and then something happened. I realized that the campaign was over, and I cried. I shed actual tears. And that's probably like the most powerful moment and also my favorite memory was, finishing my first campaign, and, that was the end of it. And, it all built up to this moment, and then that's just it. It was done.
I would say that I probably still haven't to this day actually finished a full like D&D campaign. That's mainly my fault because I run normally like a homebrew campaign, which is more of a sandbox than anything. So there is no real clear cut end to any of my campaigns.
Right.
Only because I can never really get into like reading the pre-written stuff. Like I would love to run Curse of Strahd. That sounds like a fucking blast, but I can't get myself to sit down and read through all of it because to my brain, it's like reading a textbook, and my brain just doesn't like that.
Right. Yeah, I totally get that. I went into homebrew myself directly after Tomb of Annihilation for that reason. I was like, this is good, but
what if it never has to end?
Yeah. And what if I'm in control, like creatively and like, insofar as the plot and everything and the whole world, So, but kind of going back to, the campaign that I had with you, my second favorite memory in D&D, which is just right up there, is so let me just give this some backstory a little bit. So Josh was my first DM. I was in his campaign, and my first character ever in D&D was a warlock. And this warlock, his mother died tragically because this other warlock like invaded his hometown and like just slaughtered droves of people. And so my character decided to make a dark pact with a supreme being and essentially hunt down this other warlock. So like his aspiration was to become even greater than the warlock that had killed his mother, and go and hunt him down and kill him. And honestly, I think that it was like kind of subliminal for me. And, you know, I didn't really realize it at the time, but like all of like, this was my character's arc. And even though I didn't get to see the end of the campaign, my character definitely finished his arc, because shortly before I went into the Navy and left the campaign, my character did end up killing his mother's murderer. And subliminally, I think that was like that was a representation of my own life with my like actual real mother. You know, like I just kind of subliminally wrote it into my backstory without really realizing it. But, you know, because when I was in high school, my mom passed away. She had Huntington's disease. So I think that this was like my creative outlet, even though I wasn't even aware of it, of like getting that closure, you know, defeating the Huntington's disease and conquering it and becoming, you know, greater than it. And then, you know, coming out on top. So it was just so like important to me. It was so profound, you know? And
that's probably one of the things that I love so much about Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, it is first and foremost a game. Yes. But because you yourself are in control of pretty much everything that happens in it, especially in like a homebrew sort of environment, like you bring your character into it, you bring like your character's own backstory and everything into it. And you get to influence the game and everything. And a lot of the things that you choose for your character are probably going to be things that you yourself have experienced, although you don't really realize that you're kind of putting that on your character to kind of work through. And so many times, like you kind of like accidentally work through like past traumas with D&D. And you don't even realize it until you kind of look back on it and like, okay, yeah. That makes sense. That like, okay, yeah. And I think it's actually been scientifically proven that Dungeons and Dragons actually helps people psychologically heal like from things and everything. I think they're using it actually in like prisons and stuff to help like people like socialize and like help people like just like understand things, like just like maintain like social interaction and like just kind of like help those people that are in there, not because like they did like violent things, but because they did some like they screwed up and like they really messed up and unfortunately hurt somebody and they have to work through those things. I also think it's also been used to help like children with like learning disabilities and everything, to help them become more sociable and everything, like to help them learn social skills and everything like that. And I love D&D so much.
Yeah, I have family members and they play D&D with their kids, and they see it as like it's a way to spend quality time with your kids. You can teach your kids important lessons through D&D, you know, and you just get to see that. Okay, so here's another thing about D&D that I love. We're just going to keep rolling on this topic.
Yeah, this podcast has just become a D&D podcast. Sorry, everyone.
Oh, no. So one thing about D&D is maybe, you know, you don't realize it, but if you're a DM, then you definitely know this is true. But essentially, when you DM and you have a group of players and you're taking them through this story, you are essentially parenting your friends. And I don't mean that in a way where you punish them or, you know, you're like fiscally responsible for them. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you get to watch your friends grow right in front of your eyes every single week or however often you play. And you get to present them with challenges and you present them with puzzles and you craft this story. And not only are you crafting it for them, they're crafting it for you. because, the way that I ran Tomb of Annihilation or, any campaign for that matter, that's not going to be the same way that Josh runs it or any other DM for that matter. Every story is so unique. It's pretty much, any campaign book or any campaign that's written homebrew is just a skeleton. And what really makes the body and what fills it in is the players and how they interact with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons that it was so powerful for me. And that's why I cried, is because like my friends grew up like in front of my eyes. Like I felt like these were my children. And now, it was time to let them go. And I just couldn't deal. I was like, no, like I want this forever.
I don't want this to end. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I 100% get that. Like anytime that like a campaign is fallen apart, whether it be by my own doing of just like, I wouldn't say losing interest in it, but mentally just kind of like checking out and being like, I just like mentally, I just can't like keep doing this anymore, or other factors like going into it. I have always gotten like really sad whenever like a campaign has ended, because like I have watched those friends grow up. Now, mind you, I've played D&D with probably the same set of people multiple times. So it's like watching my friends grow up repeatedly and making their own mistakes again and again and again, which is hilarious. But also like it's a lot of fun. Like D&D is probably the best game ever, in my opinion. Like it's better than any like video game. It's better than any board game, card game, anything. Like it is. Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games are probably the best like game that you could ever possibly play.
Yeah.
And that's probably a hyperbole. I don't care. It is my truth and I am living it. Damn it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like every time I talk to Josh about D&D, I end up thanking him for introducing me to it, because without Josh, I never would have played D&D. And I honestly can't imagine my life any other way now that I have played D&D. So, oh my gosh, if you have even like an inkling, like if you even think for a moment that you would consider trying D&D, just go do it. I'm so serious. Go and do it right now. And also another benefit is you can support a local game store if you do get into D&D. So, and
local
then
game stores are the best. We have like,
they really are.
A game store
you enter
here.
A community.
Yeah, we have like Uncle's Games here, and they're all just such delightful people that work there, and I love supporting them so much. Yeah, that's literally where I buy all of my books, I think, or where I bought all of my books. It's great. I love them. They're so great.
Yeah.
Also, if you have any slight inkling of wanting to listen to us play D&D, we will find friends and do that.
Yeah, we could do like a D&D podcast. Uh-oh.
Those are popular.
Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Also, Josh and I once co-DM'd a one-shot, and that was a ton of fun.
Oh, my God. Yeah. That was crazy. That was really weird, but I loved it. It was very strange, but it was a lot of fun.
It was great because when we were DMing together, it was like we were two dads and then we had all of our children. Like we're just like, walking through this valley of death, pushing a stroller of our kids.
Pretty much.
It was great. I loved it. So yeah, I was thrilled when I got to DM with Josh, and also just in general, all of the times that I've played with Josh have been delightful, because also you get to see another side of your friends potentially, depending on how they make their character and, choices they make. And it's just, it's so good. It's so good.
Plus, like, if you're like, say like you're playing a campaign that I'm running, Hayden, I normally like to focus a lot more on like the role-playing aspect of the game. Like I put a heavy emphasis on that, and I reward players for like doing really well with role playing their characters very well, and like I like to reward players for like doing like what their character would do within reason, like not being like if their character is a like kind of an asshole, like I'm not going to reward them for just being an asshole all the time. Like obviously you're going to want to see like some sort of development there and everything eventually,
right?
Maybe they grow up or something. But like it's just like I very much focus on like the role playing aspect of the game. And like you said, you like to sort of run like more of a meat grinder, kind of like I assume that's more of like a monster slayer sort of thing, like just like combat.
We definitely had a combat every single session for sure, but mostly it refers to, it is more combat heavy. I even increased the number of enemies in the sessions to make it harder.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, every session that we had a combat, I was literally trying my hardest to kill my players. And so it's not like, it's squishy and I'm taking it easy on them and I'm letting them strategize beforehand. It's like, no, there's a red dragon around the corner and he just used fire breath. And now you are literally burned to a crisp and you are dead.
Yeah. I am definitely a DM who pulls like punches and everything. After a certain level, I stopped doing that. Like after they get to like 5th or 6th level, like I stopped pulling my punches as badly, but I still do most of the time because I personally care more about the story that's being told than I do about killing a character. But like if a player comes to me and it's like, hey, I think this character served their purpose and I agree with them, then I'll definitely like, I won't like go out of my way to kill their character, but I'll definitely like find a way to kill off that character in a way that is respecting of that character.
Yeah, I love ceremonious deaths like that. It's like, hey, I'm kind of over this guy. And it's like, all right, cool. Let's try to take him out in the coolest way possible.
So another one of my favorite memories, because like we said, we could talk about D&D for hours, and that's probably what this episode is just going to end up being mostly about, because whatever, that is fine with me. I was playing in this campaign with my friend Lauren again. He was the DM again, and it was with my friends Joseph and Quinn and my fiance Becca, who is also my friend, obviously. But
wait, what?
Yeah, I know what. But we were playing in Lauren's campaign, and he made a whole like homebrew world. Like he made his own like races and everything like with it, and it was fantastic. It was amazing. And I was playing a bard in this campaign, and I wasn't playing it the stereotypical way. I wasn't looking to fuck everything. I was just looking to like. I just soothed things over with words most of the time. It was more of like I called him more of like sculpted him more as like a politician sort of thing than like a musician or anything like that. But pretty early on in the campaign, we were like at like, I think it was like this necromancer's like hideout or whatever. And we chased the necromancer off, and we were chasing him through these tunnels under his sort of fortress, and we couldn't find him, so we found like the first ladder like out of there, and at the foot of the ladder there's this silver ball, and we found that, and I think Becca was playing a character that did not have good stats or anything, so she was hating it more or less. And her character found it, and then I kind of metagamed and was like, well, your character's going to be leaving like the campaign, and you're going to get a new character. Just let Quantine have it. Like, it's fine, whatever. She begrudgingly agreed. And so my character took it, and the silver ball was sentient and very evil, but my bard didn't care. And the thing told him to like have him like put it next to his pillow and like sleep next to it. And he did that, and he woke up the next morning and it was gone, and it was in his head. It had pretty much like become like his left eye. And
holy crap.
After a while, pretty much he could ask it to do things for him, and it would always say like something like a price is given or a price is taken or something like that. And he'd be like, yeah, whatever. Just do the thing. Just do the thing. And at one point, somebody got like True Sight cast on them. And they looked at me. They looked at my character, Quantine, and they saw that my whole skeleton had turned silver. Like, my character was pretty much only operating from the brain, and like that was the only thing that was like keeping this evil creature from taking over my body. So at this point, Quantine had gone through a couple like character arcs and everything. He developed quite a bit. He started out as kind of this piece of shit racist old man, and like only because there were these two races that Lauren had in his world, the Amarani and the Malaga, and I was playing an Amarani, who are like these elvish sort of beings that have like fire for hair instead of like normal hair on these, and then the Malaga were kind of like these sort of like the way that I always pictured them in my mind is they were like a lot kind of like shorter, stouter, kind of I would say like dwarf sized, but they were very like scarred and everything, and all that jazz. And so Joseph was playing that. He was playing that race, and I was playing Quantine, who was an Amarani, and those two races have not gotten along for millennia and everything. And like Joseph's character was sort of hiding that from the group because like the Malaga, for one reason or another that I can't remember, he's rewritten like all this to like kind of get rid of like that sort of racism out of his campaign, which is nice, which is cool. But Joseph's character was hiding it from the group, and Quantine like figured it out or something. And so like he had been giving Joseph's character the cold shoulder for a long time. And then eventually they discovered that they shared like their races shared a common ancestor. So really like both of those races are like actually like kind of the same people. So like he accepted that, and they started getting along a lot better. And then like other things happened and everything, and he became a much nicer person, much better person to be around. And so like at that point I went to Lauren and I was like, hey, I think like Quantine has kind of served his purpose. I think like I do want to play a new character, just because like I don't think reasonably Quantine would probably like continue on with the group. I think he'd settle down somewhere. And he was like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What we didn't know is that the rest of the party had their own plans for Quantine. The rest of the party decided that they knew something was going on with Quantine. Something was taking him over. And so they decided that they were going to try and kill him to stop this evil creature. So what they did is one night around a campfire, they all like Joseph was just like, all right, now, and they all like attacked me, and they were trying to like scoop like the silver eye out of like Quantine's head pretty much. And they did that, except the silver eye was now pretty much Quantine's consciousness, and the consciousness from the evil creature in the eye had transferred to Quantine's body pretty much. And like, so they succeeded in what they were doing, but
oh shit!
But the end result was not exactly what they thought was going to happen. So Joseph retired his character and was like, I feel so guilty about this. I'm just going to keep Quantine safe now. It was so funny how it happened, like in the moment, and also really fucking terrifying. Like Lauren is such Lauren is such a good DM at creating like suspense and like horror in his campaigns. Like he's so good.
Just chef's kiss.
I know like that'll sound weird listening to me just going but that's what he's just so good. And I miss playing D&D with him and with you and with everyone.
So the moral of the story is love conquers racism. So if you're racist, go to therapy, find someone you love, and move on.
Exactly.
And if you're not racist, that's great. Like, awesome. Welcome to the club. Like, nice. For those who are listening on audio, we were doing chef's kiss, like, mwah, like.
Yes. I wasn't just having a conniption over here.
Yeah, no.
But I also was having a conniption, so
it was more mental than physical.
Yes.
Wow.
Okay.
Holy crap. That's awesome.
It was hilarious how it happened. Like, it just like, I knew that they had like talked about it. Like they had talked about doing it. I didn't think they were all that serious about doing it. And then it just kind of happened.
Yeah. Well, I just like how Joseph was the one that like ended up taking care of you in the end, because you guys were at such odds for like most of the campaign because of your racial differences. And then, you know, in the end, it was that you kind of developed like a familial love that kind of like broke down the barrier.
Yeah.
So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I'm not going to lie. If I were to go back and play that character again, I probably I wouldn't put that fucking eye thing next to my head and let it enter into my body.
Well, you didn't know
that was my bad.
You didn't know it was evil. It could have been an angel.
The way it talked to me, I should have been able to figure out that it was evil. I may not have known for sure if it was evil, but the way that Lauren was voicing it, I should have known it was fucking evil.
Well, I mean, it's not really that surprising. It's kind of par for the course. I mean, what the outcome is, we have another corrupt politician in the world. Like,
exactly.
Hello, that's not new.
Except the politician was learning about love the whole time, and he became a good person and a decent person. Halfway decent.
If you're a politician and you're listening to this, we love you. Go to therapy. Go
to Cancun, get some therapy.
Oh no, that's not therapy. You can't run away from your problems, Joshua.
It's vacation therapy. Thank you very much.
If you're not a politician, go to therapy.
As long as it's affordable, because you know that's kind of the bad part about therapy is it's very expensive.
Yes,
it can be very expensive. Normally is very expensive. Anyways, I still have like half of my list of subjects to talk about.
We'll do it live.
Since we spent so much time talking about D&D.
I love it. It's great.
Do you think we should finish up this list of subjects, or should I just leave it for the next episode? Because we have talked about D&D for where's my mouse? There's my mouse.
What's our roll time?
Let's see. You know, it would be great if it told me. Not 100% sure,
snap.
But I'd say we probably started about a half hour ago at the very least.
Since
we talked for about a half hour before we had to stop.
Well, so let's do a little check-in. So how's my audio? How's my video? I'm thinking about turning off my video so that the audio is better and it's not straining the internet.
No, they're both good. They're both good.
Oh, really? Okay. Because you got a little bit real body.
Your video looks better than my video half the time. And I have an HD webcam.
I mean, yeah, I'm just doing this on my iPhone.
That's why.
Yeah. So that's probably why. Cool. Well, I'll just keep trucking on then. I'm honestly fine with it because we're probably going to cut this down a little bit anyway. So
Sure.
I say we just roll it, and then we could even just do all of my topics after that and knock them all out.
For sure.
And then we'll find a organic. Well, actually, let's do your list and then create an organic ending to the podcast, and then we'll restart it, and then we'll go through all my topics.
Sure. And I'll leave all this in, right?
I mean, if you want to, I don't care.
Don't cut any of this, right?
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you're listening to this and you don't mind us talking about business, let us know. Send us a tweet. If you want us to cut it out, like if you don't care, then like that's cool. We'll take it out. It's we want this to kind of be like a little bit more interactive than most podcasts. We love coming up with topics and bringing them to the table. But if you have anything that you want us to talk about or anything that you don't want us to talk about, let us know. And then, we could obviously incorporate that, because at the end of the day, we're just kind of floored that anyone wants to listen to us talk for an hour, let alone,
truly, yes.
The number of people that have already signed up to listen to us for an hour, which, by the way, thank you so much.
Yeah.
If you are listening.
Seriously. Do we just get, we got confirmed for Google Play just the other day I saw. Yep.
We're now on Google Play. We're on Spotify.
Still just waiting on that Apple money.
Yeah, still waiting on that big Apple. So.
But either way.
But yeah, I already put our Apple ID into the RSS feed. So they just have to listen to that really shitty trailer that I made a couple days ago and then approve it. And then we're in the money.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Well, so the next
Hit
question.
me with it.
Did you know that bananas are berries? And how does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? Because it makes me feel wrong.
I found that out on YouTube. I don't remember what channel I was watching when I found out. But when I found out, I was shocked. And I was like, wait, I have to look this up right now. Because wait, don't bananas, correct me if I'm wrong, bananas grow on trees?
Yes.
Okay. So is an apple a berry?
I don't know. What qualifies a berry? Let's see.
Yeah. So see, that's what I want to know. Like, who decides these things? Because I am not knowledgeable enough, and I'm not going to speculate because I don't want to say anything like that's going to be embarrassing or like, I don't know, incriminating, I guess. I don't want to piss all of our plant people off,
Let's see. Okay.
But yeah, I saw that on the internet and I was like, oh my God, like is my whole life a lie? And also, wait, isn't it true that like there's a named berry out there in the world that isn't technically a berry?
Yes. And strawberry is not a berry.
A strawberry is not a berry. It's a fruit.
Yeah, it's just a fruit. So I looked this up on Google just as we were talking here. And it says, botanically speaking, a berry has 3 distinct fleshy layers: the outer skin, the fleshy middle, and the innermost part, which holds the seeds. In addition, to be a berry, a fruit must have 2 or more seeds. Thus, a cherry, which has just 1 seed, doesn't make the berry cut. But like a banana has very, very small seeds in it.
Yeah.
And the reason that a strawberry isn't is because obviously a strawberry has all of its berries on the outside. But to answer your question,
mean seeds?
Yes, that's what I meant.
A strawberry has all of its berries on the outside. Yes.
Obviously, a strawberry has all of its berries on the outside. Like, come on now.
Yeah. Botanists, do not fact check us because we are right and you are wrong.
I just Googled, is an apple a berry? There we go. Let's see.
I think it fits the definition. It's got that skin, it's got flesh, it's got seeds on the inside, and there's multiple. So I'm not a botanist.
But it doesn't have like it has the outside layer and it has like the inner part, but it doesn't have like a part that's inside that inner part that holds the seeds. Like it has the core, but that's
really?
just part of the, it's not saying that it's a berry in here.
Oh, so it's just a fruit.
Wait, where is it?
What if this is like a botanical conundrum and we just opened up this Pandora's box of like plant lore that like has like hundreds of years of history?
That would be amazing. A watermelon
if you're
is a berry.
botanist, oh, don't even start. Just stop. Just come on.
That's a big berry.
You didn't need to say that, like, but you did. So here we are. Kind of upset.
Let's see.
So
that's insane.
I don't think it's a berry, but you know, I do have an orange tree in my backyard, and I actually don't know what kind of. So fun fact, I don't know what kind of oranges they are. Here's the thing. They're really small and they are really orange and they look like cuties. But here's the thing. They're not sweet. They're really, really sour. They're like as sour as a lime, but their structural integrity is not as robust as a lime. Like, you know, you squeeze a lime, it's pretty firm, right?
Yeah.
You could, if you squeeze one of my oranges, you would just like fucking crush it. It's, you know, it's very soft. And it
really
feels like an orange. Pretty easy to peel. Has a fuck ton of seeds. Wait, maybe not a fuck ton. That's an exaggeration, but it does have a lot of seeds. And let me tell you, they taste great in a margarita. Let me tell you something else. You pop one in a Corona or like another Mexican beer, also fantastic. But yeah, I just have no effing idea. If you are really a plant person
Blue Moon
and you can like look at plants and identify them. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to try
any beer, you throw some of my orange in there. Yeah. It's actually, so I started this ritual with my friends where whenever they visit my house for the first time, I literally force them. I will like shove it down their throat. They have to try one of my oranges. They don't have a choice. And if they refuse to eat one of my oranges, I just politely ask them to leave. Which I know contradicts my statement that I just made about forcing it down their throat. But I mean, most people just agree. They're like, dude, you have an orange tree? That's pretty damn cool. I'm going to try one. But anyway, if you are one of those people
I'm going to refuse to eat your oranges when I come over there.
I will politely ask you to leave, my friend.
And I will politely decline.
You can get the fuck out. If you are a botanist or like, you know, shit about plants and you can identify it, you can go on my Instagram at Hayden Ismondo, same as my Twitter. And I have a picture of my tree. So maybe you can help us figure it out.
Help us solve this unsolved mystery, please. Yeah.
And then also let me know if it's a berry, because if it is a berry, dude, that's dope. I love berries. That's pretty cool.
My berries. All right. So next on the docket here. Are you okay?
Sorry. Yeah, I put my feet on the table.
Oh, okay. The next thing I have on the docket, kind of in line with the whole like drinking Corona, drinking like beer and everything. Something that I know you don't really deal with too often. What is your best hangover meal?
Oh, I actually do have something for this. So I don't get hangovers very often. I've only had a couple in my lifetime. And that's just probably because for the most part, even when I'm not drinking, I stay extremely hydrated. And when I am drinking, I think I've only really blacked out once in my entire life. And that's mostly because when I drink, I kind of take on more of a parental role in my friend group. And so I'm just kind of like, you know, corralling all of my friends.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway,
me too.
If okay, we'll get into that later, Josh. But anyway, so I have had a hangover a couple times, and something that I really, really, really love is one, get a glass of apple juice. That's definitely one of my go-to hangover cures. Another thing is you need some greasy food, man.
Mhm.
You need it. You got to get that grease in there. There's some sciencey shit that's going on that I don't remember, but pretty much you want some greasy food. And you should go get it because your body's already fucked up from drinking. Why not just ruin it a little bit more by getting a meal that's not healthy for you?
And that brings me into my hangover cure. That is my preferred method. It's just go get yourself some fucking Denny's. Like, yeah, it's not going to be good for you, but it's going to be good for your hangover. Like, it's
for sure.
So good. Like, it doesn't matter what you get from Denny's. It's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot.
I have this ritual with my friends where, we haven't done this in a long time because of COVID, unfortunately. But pre-COVID, what I would do is I would host a party at my house, and then it'd be open invite. Anybody that wants to crash can crash. I'm getting out blow-up mattresses. People are sleeping on the couch. People are sleeping in sleeping bags. I don't give a fuck. And anybody that stays, I wake up the next morning because, typically I don't have hangovers.
Mm-hmm.
And I make everyone my famous buttermilk pancakes, bacon, and eggs. So you said Denny's. That's pretty much what I do. I just run it out of my own kitchen. And if you haven't had my famous buttermilk pancakes, man, I'm sorry. You're missing out because it's probably one of the things that I'm like most well known for making.
Hayden, I don't think I've even had your pancakes.
Oh, we will fix that, my friend. We will fix that. No, we will. Yeah, no. When I see you and when you come to visit, I'm going to cook so much food for you.
Hell yeah.
And it's going to be great because mom and dad won't be in control and they'll just have to like deal with whatever I cook. And I'm very excited for that because, they're such great cooks, and just having them at my mercy is like, it's going to be so satisfying for me.
Meal before me.
No, not even that. Just like I'm because they've cooked so many meals for me, and
once or twice.
Yeah. And I just feel like this is a way that I can pay them back, and like they can just sit down and relax. They don't have to worry about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then, they just get to eat, and then, that's it. And so I'm so stoked. But yeah, so I have that ritual with my friends where I make just the greasiest god dang bacon that you've ever had, buttery buttermilk pancakes and syrup, and you get those eggs in there, and oh man, it's just chef's kiss. Another thing that I like to make in the morning, typically I'll make it for myself, or like, if I do have a friend over, then I'll make it one for them too. But all right, hear me out. Some people are going to hate me for this, but I don't care. Shut up. It's not your stomach. It's mine. So fuck you. I take a blueberry bagel, I toast it up, and I make a breakfast sandwich out of it. Now you're probably wondering why blueberry bagel. I love blueberry bagels. That's the only reason. And you can do it with a plain bagel. That's fine. But a blueberry bagel is sweeter, so you get that sweetness.
Yeah,
and that's what I really love. So I normally do like blueberry bagel with bacon and whatever cheese I have in the fridge.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's like a Mexican 4-blend, or I've done like sharp cheddar. Really whatever shredded cheese I got in the fridge, I just kind of throw it on there.
For sure.
And then I love that. I eat it up. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, that actually sounds actually pretty good.
And a scrambled egg. Yeah, that's essential. And I know Josh probably won't be too thrilled about that, but I can sub it out for honestly whatever.
Eggs aren't my favorite thing in the world, but like if I can't taste the egg, then like that's fine. Like you can put as many eggs as you want on something, and I'll probably eat it. I just don't like the taste of eggs. I just like, and it's sort of like a texture thing too, especially for scrambled eggs. Like if I can hide that texture by something else, then that's fine. Whatever.
Yeah. So in your case, Josh, I'd probably still do the bacon, but instead of a scrambled egg, what I would probably do is, so a lot of people maybe haven't done this. If you haven't, you should try it. Take an Italian sausage, take the wrapper off, and smash it down into a patty, and just fry that bitch up. Just
That's damn
yum
good.
yum. Yeah. So that's probably what I would do if I was making Josh a brekkie Sammy.
Brekkie Sammy.
That's what I like to call them, brekkie Sammys. But I always, hit up my friends. I'm like, yo, what's up? You guys want some brekkie Sammys? So,
Hayden, at the start of the show, I said that we had like rebranded after one show and everything. I didn't realize that I had rebranded after one show also. Last show I had like the teal hair and like I had my actual like beard all like grown out, and then I trimmed my beard and colored my hair to black, and look at me, I'm rebranded also.
People are going to think that like weeks have passed between this episode, but really it's only been a couple of days.
It's been like 3 days since we last recorded.
Yeah, it's incredible. People will also think that I haven't rebranded from the first episode, but I've rebranded like just kind of like my lifestyle since like a lot of people have talked to me. So as you can see, my facial hair is routine and I don't have to shave, which, being in the military, I value that so much because usually I have to shave every day. But when I'm in here, nobody can tell me shit. So, I just grow it out.
See my
here's
hair.
The thing. I really thought about shaving for the podcast. I didn't do it because I was just lazy, but the reason that I wanted to shave is because my neck beard is so fucking robust and I hate it. And it's honestly disgusting. But here we are. So I'm just going to bless the world with this image, and hopefully someday it won't be on camera.
It's such a robust neck beard. It's such a robust neck beard that fucking Star Wars fans are blushing about it.
Yeah.
And by Star Wars fans, I mean like the bad Star Wars fans that are just.
Yeah. I actually got some heat about it because, when you're on a deployment, you don't have to shave if you get permission. And so I just I've never had this opportunity in my life before. So I just let it grow because God knows I couldn't grow any facial hair when I was in college. So I was just like, let's just see what happens. And I just grow like this insane, like gnarly neck beard right here, like all on the bottom. And then I can't I don't know if you can see, I can't grow a mustache.
Oh my God. It's just like at the corners of your mouth.
Yeah, I know. It's like, I can't grow anything right here under my lip. So like a goatee is just out of the question. But I feel like if I don't trim my mustache, like except for in the middle, and I let these like little shave my whole beard, I can have the wind, So, maybe in my older years.
In your older years, after when nobody's telling you what to do, you just let it all grow out.
Yeah, like after my midlife crisis, I could probably, try to do that.
So in about 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. Of course.
In 4 years, oh God, I'll be 28. Midlife crisis. Yeah, I'm not living past 50.
Oh yeah, you're not 25 yet.
24.
Yeah. You're so young.
Yeah, no, this year. Whatever, dude. Oh, look at me. I'm 25. I can rent a car. Fuck you, Josh.
I can be jealous. It's the last cool, for those listening, I put air quotes around cool, thing that I get.
Yeah.
Once I turn 26, I lose my insurance through my parents. And they have good insurance.
Yeah, that's true.
I just get to live with Walgreens insurance after this. Ugh.
F in the chat.
F. Anyways, moving on from the hangover question. Just got a couple more questions up in here.
Up in here.
And this next one's probably going to be pretty quick one, just to kind of let the listeners just learn a little bit more about us. Just like a quick answer. Just what's your favorite color?
Red.
Red. Would you mind telling the listeners what my favorite color is? Because I know you know it.
It's orange.
No, it's blue. No, you're right.
Yeah, I was like, you son of a bitch, don't you dare do that to me.
Yeah.
Well, so Josh loves orange and blue because those are the Broncos colors, but he likes orange more because Halloween is his favorite holiday.
Yes.
Halloween is also my favorite holiday, but here's the reason I like red. Red is the color of romance. It's the color of love. When you see red, it fucks with your heart. Your heart beats differently when you see red. And red is just a great color. I just love red. I love how I look in red. I like multiple shades of red too, you know.
Both of my best friends, their favorite color is red. I don't know why. They're the same person, I swear.
In my youth, my favorite color used to be green. I didn't really have a reason. I just liked green. I still like green. I just like red more.
Aiden, can I say something that's kind of funny and built off of what I just said?
Yes.
You saying that more or less your second favorite color is green. That is also Becca's second favorite color. And I'm concerned that you two are the same person.
I mean, statistically speaking, I am a, world-renowned economist, and I can say, these cold hard facts about statistics. It's just probably scientifically true that we are the same person, because you and I are soulmates, and you and Becca are soulmates. So it just makes sense.
Yeah, very true. All right. So I just got 3 questions left on here.
Okay. I will settle for no less than 4. So you better figure it out.
So I better come up with a 4th one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
No pressure.
Next question. What's your next tattoo going to be?
Oh, you bitch. You stole one of the topics from my podcast. Okay. Okay. Fuck you. First of all. Second of all, the next tattoo that I'm going to get will be, okay. This is honestly, like, I'm so freaking excited for this tattoo. And you know that I'm excited because I said frickin' and I didn't swear. So here's what's up. My grandma, my mom's mom, used to wear this necklace every day. She would wear it every day. My grandpa gave it to her. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that checks out. Yeah. And this, maybe I could like send you a picture and you could like put it in the video of the podcast. But for people listening on audio, I'll just describe it. So it's this gold chain, and then the little pendant is a golden moon, and the moon has a face on it. And at the tip of the moon is like a star. So it's kind of like a man on the moon kind of necklace. And it's so iconic. And like, when I think of my grandma, it's like the most quintessential thing that comes to mind when I think about her. And so I've always wanted a tattoo that was dedicated to her. And so what I did is I commissioned one of my art friends to draw it for me. So what I did is I had my aunt send me a picture of the necklace, and then I made the picture black and white, and then I reversed the colors. So it's white on black. And then I sent that picture to my friend who's an artist, and they actually drew it up like, in like line work for me. And so I'm going to get that right here on my, what arm is this? Left arm? Yeah. On my left arm.
Right on your bicep?
Right on my bicep.
Nice.
And then it'll be
That's
like
really cool.
It'll be right over the tattoo that I got from my mom, which is a flamingo, which is on my left forearm.
That's really cool. I really like that. That sounds like it's going to be really beautiful and everything too.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And it's just going to be like real big, really right there. It's going to be awesome. I'm super pumped. Unfortunately, I've fallen out of touch with that friend for reasons, but still, I'm excited to put their art on my body. And, it just makes it that much more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm thrilled. But what's your next tattoo? Oh, actually, I think I know. Is it the other one on the other arm?
So it's either that I have two options for what I want to do for my next tattoo. So I have a D20 that is 20 sided. The 20 side is up on my right arm. And it's like a red D20 and it's right there on my forearm. And I want to get either a D20 on my left arm that's like blue and has the one facing up because like I'm right dominant with everything. So like having the 20 on my right arm is just like, yeah, that's my dominant arm. And then having the crit fail on my left arm is like, yeah, I'm a fucking idiot when it comes to anything left-handed or left-eyed or left-footed. It's either that or I want to add to my D20 on my right arm and like add like sort of a dragon, kind of like clutching it. And like the body of the dragon, like kind of like serpents its way up my arm or something. But I think I'm gonna go with like the D20 on my left arm just because that just seems like fun to me. I love that idea of having the one side facing up and just being like, shit, he's fucking left arm is useless.
Those are both freaking dope ideas.
Plus, I'm fairly certain that 99% of any tattoos that I'm going to get are just going to be D&D themed. So like, I'm like leaning so heavily into that. I want to get an Adventure Zone tattoo at some point. I don't know what yet, but like for those who don't know, the Adventure Zone is a D&D podcast that I've listened to the first season of probably, I think I'm on my fifth listen through of it right now, just because I love it. The McElroys are amazing and I love them all. But yeah, that's probably going to be my next tattoo is the D20 on my left forearm with the one facing up, which I think will be hilarious.
Dope. Yeah, that's super funny. I love that. For the dragon, like you could once you get the other D20, then you could do the dragon on the arm where you and then you could have that, give that tattoo as time to heal and stuff. But on the one that you add for a while, you can still get the dragon. What I would do is like, I would find like a really dope local artist and just have them like freehand it and just like see what happens. Because like, that's another dream. That's another dream of mine is I just want to walk into a tattoo shop and I want to find a tattoo artist where I just say, hey, give me a tattoo. And they do it. Like, I come
That'd be so cool.
I come to the table with nothing. I'm like, you could put like an expletive on my body and I wouldn't even know. Like, don't even like, I'm not saying I'm going to get an expletive on my body. That's ridiculous. But I'm giving it as an example to say like,
for sure.
Just, I walk into a place and I'm like, yo, put some art on my dang body. And then they do, like that's on my bucket list for sure. For sure.
Yeah, I love that. I love the idea of that. That'd be a lot of fun to do.
No, you go.
I personally probably wouldn't do that only because I'm a little bitch, but
well, so you are an asshole because you took my topic idea, but
yes.
I'm gonna put a spin on it for next episode.
Okay.
So we're going to back to the talk next up. Still, it's going to be a little bit different, and I'm excited to talk to you about it.
For sure.
What's next? What do you got for me?
So, let's see. Of the last two questions, which one do I want to ask you first? All right, we'll go with this one. So, another sort of hypothetical thing. If there was like any like sort of genre that you could live in, what would it be? So like for me, it'd be like sci-fi fantasy, sort of like Star Wars sort of like fantasy, like space exploration, stuff like that. Because I'm not so interested in like sci-fi because that's more Star Trek in my mind. I just want to be a fucking space wizard with a laser sword fighting fascists, more or less.
Yeah. Okay.
That just speaks to me on a different level.
I would definitely go and be in a Middle Earth-esque fantasy world.
I figured that would be your answer.
Magic and swords and, spells and calamity and just the whole 9 yards. And like, I very much love like the medieval twists that people put in there, like Old English, and it's just like a simpler. It's like times were so simpler, but also because of like the magic, it's so much more complicated. And it's all about nature, and the world is your freaking sandbox, and you explore things and you go see amazing places, and so because like Lord of the Rings is my favorite, just in general.
Just your favorite intellectual property. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So that's probably where I would settle in.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be your answer coming into that question. I was like, he's gonna go with fucking Tolkien fantasy over here.
Yep. Yeah. 100%.
But like, I can completely understand the want to like live in like that sort of world. It's literally my background on Zoom right now is a Hobbit hole. So like, that's obviously up there in like the sort of like tier system for like what kind of like fantasy world I want to live in is that. But like, the appeal of like living in like the fucking Star Wars universe to me, it just seems so cool. Like just being like a fucking Jedi or like fucking smuggler or bounty hunter or everything like that. It appeals to me on such a high level that like I couldn't not put that over living in like a Tolkien fantasy. No offense to Tolkien. He's a much better writer than George Lucas.
I would say that Star Wars is probably my, second pick if I had to choose.
Mm-hmm.
And if they said like, no, you can't live in Middle Earth, but you can live in Star Wars, I'd be like, fuck it, full send. Like, let's go. Because I also love Star Wars.
Lightsaber. Did I just say lightsaber?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Am I actually
give me that lifesaver?
Give me that lifesaver.
Give me that mint, that minty freshness. I need that.
Chewbacca? No. Is that Chewbacca's
bubblegum? Don't mind if I do.
All right. So the final question that I have for this episode. So, Hayden.
Yeah.
What was something that you got way into as a young adult / teen?
Okay. The first thing that came to my mind is Redwall. Have you heard of Redwall?
I have not.
Okay, so Redwall, it's these series of books. It's by Brian Jocks. You can look him up.
I think I actually do know what this is, but yes, please continue.
Yeah. So Redwall is essentially like this little tiny, I hate to say it, but you know what? It's kind of like a medieval kind of, dealio, but there's no humans. It's all animals. So it's like mice and badgers and squirrels and, these woodland creatures, and they are sentient and they are like, they live like humans. And, and these stories are just so good. Like I wouldn't say that they're young adult novels per se, because they are, they're adult books, I would say. There's not adult themes per se. But, I just don't think that they would fit in the young adult category. And I loved these Redwall books. I would, these are like 200-300 page books. I would read one in a day. I would just sit down and I would just like absolutely destroy it. And I was, eating these books up like candy, and I just love them so much. And you know what? It reminds me, I should really like go back and revisit those, because holy shit, like I had so much fun reading those. And each story is different. There's a whole swath of characters, and they're just so good, man. They're just so good. I love Redwall.
I've never personally read them, but I've heard that they're like really good books and everything. And you saying that they're 200 to 300 pages, I'm like, oh fuck, I can read that. Like I'm not much of a reader anymore, but I can read that.
Yeah.
That you saying that you want to get back into that kind of ties into the thing that I got into as kind of like a middle school or early high school age kid, even into my post high school times. I, like a lot of people our age, got really into Greek mythology. And it's all because of one man named Rick Riordan creating this little known series of books called the Percy Jackson books. And I just reread like the original 5 books this past year, and I still love these books. They're just I just love them so much. Like, they're just so charming, and the way that he writes them, like it doesn't, like, it definitely like makes Greek mythology a bit more polished than it actually is, a bit more not kind of skeezy, but like, I just love, because of him, I really like got into Greek mythology. In fact, like, going back to D&D, my homebrew world that I've created for D&D, the gods are based off of sort of the Olympian gods, and they're personified by dragons in the world. And like, I definitely probably wouldn't have got to that sort of creation conclusion if I hadn't read these books in middle school and early high school, and just reread them in the past year, because God, I love these books and I love everything about them, and I want to already reread them again, because I own all of them on my phone, because everything's on your phone or anything anymore, and it's perfect. Like, I can take it anywhere, I can read it anywhere. But Greek mythology just was so much fun to get into, like, and I just love just delving into it more and more and more and more.
I read the first book, and I want to say I read a little bit of the second book. I don't know why I stopped, but I do remember one thing that like turned me off from those books was the fact that it takes place in modern day, and I was just like, I can take that, or I can leave it. You know, I also loved Greek mythology as a kid, and I remember taking that Greek mythology class in high school. It was so much fun. I loved it. It was so great.
I think that was part of the reason why I really liked those books, is because they're set in a modern era. I think that just kind of like, in like kind of how you could take it or leave it. I was full in on this. I was like, this is cool. Like, I really like seeing like these gods having to interact with like a modern society, and not just being able to, you know, be Zeus, fly into some random person's room and make a baby, because Zeus is problematic as hell.
Zeus, if you're listening, go to therapy.
Zeus, if you're listening, go to therapy. Goddamn. If any of the Olympian gods are listening, please go to therapy. Zeus, Hera, I'm looking specifically at you.
Yeah.
Also, this past year, like that game. Have you played Hades? It's like
I have not.
It's so good.
I've heard such good things about it. I want to play it so badly.
It is easily the best game that came out last year. I speak no hyperbole. Every other game can eat its dick.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a Let's Play, and we're going to have special guest Dionysus. So Dionysus, if you're listening, come hang out with us, play a little bit of Hades. We'll have a party. It'll be pretty lit.
Lovely. All right. Well, yeah. Those are all my topics for this week. We made it through.
Nope. You still owe me one more question. I told you have to come up with one.
Oh.
I will not settle. This podcast will not end.
My final question for you, Hayden.
Yeah.
Is I don't have one.
Oh no.
I guess we're going to be stuck in this forever.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine. We'll just sit here. We can just keep talking.
We'll just sit here.
Okay, great. So we're not ending the podcast.
So how's your day been?
Oh yeah, that counts as a question.
Oh my gosh,
pretty good. Yeah, my day's been pretty good. I've just been sitting here chilling, talking to you. I briefly called one of my other friends. Actually, one of our friends called me, talked to Casey this morning.
Oh, yeah.
So she's doing well. Glad I got to catch up with her a little bit. And I also played a little bit of Pokemon Go. I still play Pokemon Go. We can talk about that maybe later.
We can talk about that at a later date
in the next podcast if you would like. Yeah, but yeah, I've just been chilling, man. I'm super stoked that I get to do this podcast with my best friend and kind of break the monotony of quarantine a little bit.
Yeah.
So my day is going great, honestly, and I think we should wrap this one up. Take a little break. Maybe I'll make another cup of coffee, and then we'll just go right into the next episode because I got my list of freaking list of questions ready for your freaking ears, Joshua.
Oh, I'm not ready for that. So yeah, I guess I don't really have like a good conclusion. We don't have a really good conclusion for these podcasts yet, but that's pretty much all we've got for this one. Go ahead and make sure that.
So maybe we should ask people if you follow us on Twitter, maybe tweet at us. Do you prefer us to ad lib the ending, or do you want us to write something that we say at the end every time? Because this podcast, we're still figuring it out, the structure and everything. And obviously you guys are the ones that are blessing us by putting us in your freaking ear holes every 2 weeks. So, we really want to hear from you. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want
from us? So for now, we're just going to ad lib because we're not going to put the time into actually writing anything. But if you're listening to this, do go ahead and make sure that you put a review on whatever platform that you're listening to this on. It really helps out the show. It really helps out you getting more entries into the giveaway and everything. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Also comment, say what your favorite part of the podcast was, or if you notice us making any dumb faces, just make sure that you put that in the comments, and we'll see that. We'll like your comment. We'll interact with you. That's all that we've got for this episode. You guys have a great rest of your day.
I love you.
Bye.